Welcome in to another Red Out podcast. I am Jake. How are you doing, Devin?
Doing good. Got some deja vu.
I know, right? Had some technical difficulties when we attempted to record last night, and by technical difficulties, I mean I am a dumbass and forgot to turn the recorder on until like the last 3 minutes.
Hey,
So,
it's all good, Bubba.
yeah,
We
stuff
all
happens, but
stuff happens exactly.
golly. But it is
Well,
recording tonight.
it worked out for the best. So got
It,
another night of talking WKU sports, right?
that's right. It could be a heck of a lot worse. So where do we want to
Why
start? Where do we want to start tonight?
why don't you go ahead and start us off on Galen Smith the third?
Okay, so on recruiting news, first we got a visitor coming over the weekend, and that's Galen Smith III. As Devin just said, he is a 6'9", 210 speedy shooting forward. He's a senior at Bay High School in Bay St. Louis, Missouri,
Okay.
not Missouri, Mississippi. I have no idea where the hell that is, but somewhere in Mississippi, God knows where. Kind of like Eastern Kentucky, but way hotter. Uh, and he's got offers from Western, from Cal State, someplace called Cal State Northridge. Okay, that makes more sense. Southern Miss, Jackson State, and Jacksonville State. So we are definitely the best offer on the table. I don't know much about him. Devin, didn't you say you saw him play on Huddle maybe a little bit?
Yeah, there was a couple little quick videos up of him. It was just shooting drills, and he was running back and forth, and he was shooting out on the wing. He looks like a forward to me. I mean, I may be wrong, but he's shooting out on the perimeter.
He could be like
Then
a
he'd go and
stretch.
post up.
He could be like a stretch three kind of slasher dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not a big basketball guru, so by any means, but I mean, he was looking pretty clean and it was looking pretty good.
I mean, I am like every bit of 5'6", so I am definitely not a basketball guru by any means. So we're in the same boat.
Okay, Bay St. Louis is basically on the Gulf.
Oh,
I
good.
don't know why. I just did a little Google search of this.
Well,
It's
because
a
why not?
population 12,667.
All right, so nice little town.
Yeah, that's a nice little town.
Big
Yeah,
in, big in the
sure.
Grove.
Yeah, see, yeah, because I was wondering, because I was like, oh, did I type that wrong?
Well,
I
because
was like, was that Missouri
yeah.
instead of Mississippi?
No, Bay St. Louis. All right, works for me, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Lady Top Volleyball won over the weekend.
yep, yep.
Senior Sydney Ingles earned her Conference USA Player of the Week again.
Kind of getting
That
old at
girl's
this
doing.
point, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, where do you put them all? I mean, she's almost like Michael Phelps with these little medals.
Yeah, yeah, little 9 pound a piece medals.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, yay. Thanks, guys. But yeah, volleyball's doing awesome for us. I
Volley.
mean, like you said last night, we're turning into a volleyball school. You
Yeah,
gotta
we
love it.
are. We're a volleyball school. Let's just cut the crap. No more basketball. No more football. Everybody just pile in. Everybody's pile into diddle. Support the girls.
That's
They
right.
kick ass and take names. And I'm hoping, last year we kind of got screwed in the NCAA tournament. We got a rough draw and a rough first out, and I'm kind of hoping, especially how dominant they've been this year with 30 back-to-back conference wins. And I saw a stat today. I wanted to talk about this. The Lady Tops hold the record right now for currently the most sweeps of this season of any
That
volleyball
is
team in the
awesome.
country. Yeah,
That is
kicking ass. Not
awesome.
just conference, country, all NCAA teams.
That is awesome.
Hmm.
You can't say enough. These girls are super talented, and hey, I don't know what comes after collegiate volleyball, but I guess Olympic is it beach volleyball
They,
Olympic? I don't know.
I know they have beach. I don't know if they have indoor or not, but I have seen beach volleyball in a team setting, not just the doubles. So,
Yeah, I've seen it too, and they look like they could kick my butt. I'm
oh
just saying.
God, they're just. It looks like they're made out of steel. Like it's crazy. It's like
Yes,
I didn't even know you could have muscles there.
exactly, exactly. Lady Topper Soccer won over the weekend. Christina Bragado and Allison Leone were named Defensive Player of the Week and Goalkeeper of the Week, respectively. So, hey, congratulations to Lady Top Soccer.
Yeah, that's a huge conference win.
Anytime.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, and
go ahead.
go ahead.
We're like two,
They've
we're
been.
like two little kids on a first date. It's like, no, you go,
Yeah,
no, you
yeah.
talk, no, you talk.
I'm sorry. You go ahead. No, what I was going to say was that Lady Toppers have been struggling conference play so far this year as far as soccer goes, and hey, anytime we can get a win and help improve the program, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, since the damn men never did anything. I'm really glad that the Lady Tops are hanging in there.
I was around when the men's soccer got cut, and honestly, I don't think anybody ever came.
Right, exactly. So if no one's gonna come and they're not any good, to heck with them. Just let the Lady Tops play.
And basically, collegiate sports is a business, and at the end of the day, they're going to look at the bottom line and say, okay, we got to pay refs to come here and do this. We got to pay, you know, people to cut the grass. We got to do this. We got to do that. And are they really worth it at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Nah.
So
Okay,
nah,
cut it.
to hell with the boys.
Hey, I'm not a big soccer guy. It's fun to play. I'm a big, I enjoy playing sports like that, but watching, I can't do it.
The
Sorry.
only time I get interested in soccer is when I get to drunkenly scream USA, USA, and we don't even get to do that for the next World Cup because our men's team
Yeah,
sucks so bad. So like, you know what? I'm done with soccer till the men's team gets it back, or until the ladies team starts playing the World Cup because
there you
I
go.
just do not care.
Exactly. You want to talk about our commitments in
Football
football?
recruits, yeah. So even though we have talked, or at least I have talked, quite a bit of smack about Sanford and his coaching ability thus far. Now, granted, we're 4-2, but it just came out today that we had the second weakest schedule in the country. All 130 teams. We're 129 and
Oh
130.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's real bad. So it should be 6-0. But I digress. Our recruiting has taken a marked upturn since Sanford has gotten into town. He's a young guy. He's got a lot of swagger. He's got a lot of confidence, and he's bringing in a good squad. They're ranked number 1 in Conference USA, and they're 66th in the country out of 130 teams. So when you start talking about comparatively across all the teams in football, who they're compared to, who they're ahead of, if you look at it, we're ranked nationally number 66 currently on 270 or 270.
Got to represent
Got to represent the
270.
area code, right? On 247 Sports, who I tend to follow the most, especially considering they don't have a lot of paywalls. We're just ahead of SMU, Western Michigan, Kansas, Colorado State. We're above Stanford, Navy, and we are 10 spots nationally ahead of the next Conference USA team, which is UTSA at 76. And then all the others start to fall in. I mean, hell, we beat App State, Army, Boise State. Okay, here's a good one. Ole Miss is ranked number 83 in recruiting right now for the
Oh my
2018
gosh.
class. All they have is 3, as far as they only measure from 3-star up. They have 9 3-star players. That is what happens when you cheat consistently for a decade.
There you go.
Gosh.
Yep.
But yeah, so
Uh,
recruiting's doing great.
yeah, that sounds awesome. Hey, and from what I've seen, these guys are doing pretty good. We do have one injury I saw. And can you name that off the top of your head?
The injury that we have in the
Oh, yep. Mr. Traynor from Doss High School.
Trez Trainer.
Yes.
Dude's a beast. He's one of the higher ranked. What's wrong with him?
I don't see. It doesn't say what the injury is, but it says recovering from an off-season injury while the Dragons are 5-3. So
Dude, uh,
is he?
Doss is very good. Doss up here, up in Louisville, they produce some crazy athletes. And I want to say that Taywan Taylor went to Doss.
He may have. You may be right.
I want to say that simply because we got another commitment from the school that Taywan went to. So I'm actually going to look at that. I'd like to see if that's
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
case.
doing right now.
Because I want to know if he went to here. You look, I'll keep rambling.
You're
Uh,
good. I don't see Taywan Taylor on here.
okay, maybe not. While he looks a little more, I do want to talk about one more recruit, Jeremiah Gambrell, who is coming in the class of 2018 basketball. He committed over the weekend. Now, granted, these are all verbal commits, so he hasn't actually signed any NLIs or anything. But this guy's interesting because he's 6 foot tall, 150 pounds, which means if you sneeze, he'll blow away. But he's super fast, he's very athletic, and he was a Baylor commit back in June. And as recently as October 6th, according to 247 Sports, was when he decommitted from Baylor. And then over the weekend, he committed to Stansbury and the Tops. So Stansbury, again, killing it in recruiting.
That's awesome to hear. And sounds like if he turned sideways and stuck out his tongue, he'd look like a zipper.
Damn right, you stole that joke from me from last night. I just didn't want to say it
Yep.
again. I'm
Hey,
like,
that's
man, I
fine.
was trying to think of something else.
Oh, you're good. Notable alumni from Doss High School: Derek Anderson, which he played at UK, I think. Larry Burke, Burkhead, photojournalist best known as the father of Anna Nicole Smith's baby. That's
Oh,
awesome to be
that's
known
good.
for. Lavelle Boyd, NFL football player. Steve Pence, Lieutenant Governor of Kentucky, current attorney for Rick
Is
Pitino.
that the same Steve Pence?
Yes, it is.
Wow, nice. I didn't
Isaac
know he was
Sal's.
lieutenant governor
Yeah. That's what I was. I
with
thought that the
Ernie.
other day though.
Okay.
I was like, he's lieutenant governor, and now he's just doing his law thing. You kind of think, I don't know. Maybe I have a stigmata about people who, held high positions. You think they kind of do big things, but whatever.
They don't do anything.
Yeah, they just kind of go back to doing like we do now.
Yeah, exactly.
Isaac Sal Wells, NFL football player. I don't know. I've never heard of him. Tony
Uh,
Williams, former professional basketball player, now head coach at Doss. So
Interesting.
yeah, that's all I got. That's pretty interesting. Um, so sad news to report. Anytime something stupid happens at Western, got to get out in front. Assistant men's basketball coach Ben Hansborough resigned after being arrested for a DUI on Saturday. After reports of a collision, so I'm picturing him backing into somebody. I'm guessing
Yeah, that's kind
uh,
of what I figured.
at El Maz Mexican restaurant. Officers asked if he had been drinking, which he was like, "No, no, I haven't had nothing. I
That's fair,
don't.
officer.
I'm a good Christian boy. I don't drink nothing."
Right.
Uh, they did a field sobriety test, was performed, and he failed. Not surprisingly. You want me to do what? That is impossible. That's impossible. I can't do that. Of course, men's basketball has two other assistants, and Nikita Johnson and Mark Sue. Um, so hopefully, if they want somebody else, they got time to hire somebody else. If not, I think men's will be okay this year.
Yeah, I'm not too
We'll
worried
see.
about it. There's still time to get another assistant. I mean, they've got the core. They don't have to have that many assistants. And I looked it up. It wasn't Therese Trainer who went to the same high school as Taywon Taylor. It's Shannon Bishop, a two-star out of Pleasure Ridge Park in Louisville. That's where Taywon went.
PRP,
That's right.
PRP.
That's
Yep.
right. And they also are a hell of a football school.
Yeah. It's on the west side of Louisville. I'll just leave it at that.
Represent.
Yep. And my boy Dion Yelder
Woot
named
woot.
National Mackey Tight End of the Week. Proud of that guy. Let me tell
That's
you what.
that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I think he is for Western. He's another Jack Doyle.
God, I hope
He's
so.
a catching tight end across the middle. Man, that was my biggest complaint on the Charlotte game was I'm like, he's wide open running across the middle. Hit him up.
Well, and I mean,
You know, I mean,
just think of how good his stats could have been. He already had 90 something yards.
yeah,
Just think of how much we could have slayed him if.
yeah. I mean, even if ESPN would get his name right,
Yeah,
no,
no. Oh my
uh,
God. Make me start on the ES trash pen. God.
uh,
That's
that
why I
was
get all my stuff
hilarious.
off collegefootballreference.com. If you don't
Yeah,
like seriously, Football Reference, it's so much better. It's so much more detailed. You can get game by game logs going back like 20 years. It's so much better.
that's awesome.
Freaking
Can
ESPN.
you get Eastern on there?
You know what? You might be able to. Eastern's difficult to find.
Yeah, I mean, with them being Division Two, it's kind of harder to find them. What was it called? You said college what?
If you just type in like college football reference, I want to say, or football reference, college something. I don't know. If you go college football reference, you get this giant crappy page that's just numbers.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah,
It
it is.
looks like
Sorry,
God,
sportsreference.com is what it
it
is.
it looks like the old blogs that everybody used to get on the
Oh
case.
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, there's nothing fancy. There's
No, it's nothing at all. No
there's
offense.
yeah, no, there's not a thing. But it
They're
is
not on
great.
here.
Is Eastern not? God, that's how
No.
you know no one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares about
Yeah.
Eastern. Oh my
Golly.
gosh. Let me tell you
That's
what. The Eastern Kentucky rivalry was so bad back in the day. They used to dump beer on Western when they came out of the stadium.
Well, I can't say anything because if I had the option, I would dump beer on the Eastern players. However, they would probably like it. Have you seen Richmond is the town where all the UK kids that can't get drunk on campus go to just
Yep.
debauch. That's where they go. Them in
Yep.
Berea, because you can't drink at Berea. One of my boys, Tibbs, went to play baseball at Berea. He was like, "Oh yeah, dude, we used to drive up the road to Richmond and party with UK's baseball team because that's where they all went to get hammered."
That's hilarious. I never
Yes.
really thought of that.
Yep. Meet in the middle.
Now, speaking of Eastern, and you're talking about us having the weakest schedule. All right, folks, let y'all know we're going uphill from here on out.
Yes.
It looks like, of course, we talked about this last night, so Jake's kind of got a preview. Eastern, have you looked it up? What their record is currently?
It's one win, right?
One win, yes. They have one win, 1-5.
I'm going off memory. It's like one.
Yeah,
I
they won
know that
one game.
combined everyone is 8-30, which is hilarious because, and I was telling you this before the UTEP game, the combined wins were 8-20.
Yeah.
Which means the people that we've played thus far did not win in between the UTEP game and homecoming.
Oh yeah.
None of
it's
them.
yeah, it's really
God.
sad. It's really
5
sad.
teams, not one got a win.
No. And that's what's so disappointing to me with the UTEP game was that we were held so low, and it's like, dude, come on. Let's see. The only team that Eastern has beat was Tennessee Tech, and that was a conference game for them. That was OVC.
Well, good. Good for
Uh,
the Colonels. Dude, I wish
they
they would have beat
lost.
UK so bad.
Oh my gosh, yes,
They
me
almost
too.
did. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm cheering for UK a little bit this year, but it's hard for me to cheer UK football because when they lose in football, they say, "Well, wait till basketball season,"
Yeah, no,
and I'm
support your
like,
sport.
oh, and everybody's like, it's Kentucky is a basketball state, blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, we're
We're at,
football too. We got
we like
football.
athletics. Look, if you like your school, you'll support them in tiddlywinks. I don't give a damn.
That's right. But Eastern, actually, I have a friend. Um, it's funny. I met um, Marcus Floyd's father through my work, and when his older brother, I believe, plays for Eastern, they played Tennessee State, and they went and watched. It was 21-14 at one point. If you don't know the score, Tennessee State came back and beat Eastern 45-21, and they scored all them points in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
That was what it was like. Oh my
I
God,
did
that was
not
bad.
know Tennessee State had a football team.
Yes, they do. Tennessee State plays at the Titan Stadium.
Do they
Fun
really?
fact. Yes, they do. Their locker room is in the Titan Stadium.
That's
When
wild.
Western played UK at the Titan Stadium,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I
they
was there.
yeah we actually they have the Tennessee State Tiger on the wall. It's really cool.
That's
It was
pretty
like
badass. I mean,
yeah, I mean for
for an
Division II school,
OVC, that's pretty cool.
yeah. Um, so let me knock this out real quick. Illinois 2-4. They've beaten Western and Ball State. That was it. They've lost
Mm.
everywhere else. La Tech 3-3. They're actually not doing as bad. They're probably one of the stronger opponents in the early part of the conference or early part of our schedule.
I agree.
They lost to South Carolina and
Just
they
barely,
lost
though.
to Mississippi State. Yeah, well, South Carolina's I won't say trash, but
They're bad.
it's
They're
pretty
not good.
bad there.
Though I will
Yeah,
say they just beat Tennessee, so how bad is the
yeah,
SEC East this year? God,
yeah.
it's
Well,
Georgia and
Georgia,
dwarves.
Georgia and Kentucky basically, and Florida is limping through.
Yeah, Florida's bad.
Yeah, Florida lost to Tennessee. Is that right?
I
That
have
sounds
no
right.
idea. I know I watched the very tail end of that Kentucky Florida game because I thoroughly enjoy Big Blue Tears, and I got a buddy at work who fraternity brother from back in the day, and he's big Blue fan. And he was like, I think this is the year, man. We're going to get them. We're just going to get them. I was like, you're never going to get them. It's been 33 to whatever years. You're never going to get them. And sure
If they
enough,
were going to get them, it would have been this year.
oh, they played better,
Yeah.
except when they needed to, which was at the end.
Okay.
So,
Well, okay. Here is the games that make me laugh right now. Okay, Florida has done everything right so far. They lost to Michigan, which that's Michigan with
Michigan's a
the
pretty good team.
Harbaugh up there. They beat Tennessee. They beat Kentucky. They beat Vandy. Now the two teams they lost to that are trash, LSU, which makes me laugh because LSU lost to Troy, which is still in the Sun
That's
Belt,
awesome.
and Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M's not that good either.
Oh no, no, no. Texas A&M's trash.
They're the
Um,
best September team in the history of September teams.
well, the next game that Florida plays is against Georgia,
Oh, they're gonna get
and
smacked.
that is yeah, they're gonna get smacked hard, dude. Georgia's good this year. Georgia's
Nick Chubb is gonna have 200 rushing yards. He's
oh
just
yeah.
going to eat them.
Now the rest of their schedule is gonna be cake, but on the other side of that, yeah, go back to our stuff. Ball State 2-4. I don't know who they beat. Don't really care because
Yeah.
they're I think their quarterback's still hurt, and but guys, looks like uphill from here. ODU, they're 2-4, but don't overlook them. ODU is going to be good, and they're going to be a tough opponent for Western. My big thing for this is FAU, which is a beast.
Convict U.
Oh my gosh.
Kiffin's convicts.
Hey, that's fine.
That's what I
Uh,
said. I don't care. I'll take 'em.
and then you got Vandy, which they're going to be good. They may look weak in the SEC, but they're going to be. They're
We're gonna
good.
get. Look, I'm sorry. We're gonna get smacked by Vandy. I'm sorry. We're gonna. Their front four is a monster. We're gonna get smacked by Vandy, and that's fine.
Now the spread for the ODU game is 9.5, and Western's at -9.5. Money line's -340 for Western. So what's that? You get 340 when you bet $100 or something.
I have no idea about money lines, but here's an interesting fact. I'm on OddsShark, right? And I'm looking at just our conference in general. So Western right now, if you're gonna bet who's gonna win Conference USA this year, Western is still a -140, which is they're still the favorite to win the
Really,
conference,
really.
and it's not close. Uh, all across, I mean, I'm talking all of them: sports betting, Bet Online, Top Bet, Bovada. Everybody who's got it, Western is now. Some of them don't have as favorable a bets. You got a 163, you got some other stuff, but the next closest in the ones that I'm looking at is UTSA at a +700. It's just no one making these lines is watching. No one. There's no
No,
way. Because
no.
otherwise Marshall would be. Well, I know these are probably like betting futures, so it's just people betting, and that's how the odds get set. But Marshall, FAU, hell, even UAB should be ahead of us right now in the betting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Marshall is probably going to win the conference.
Yeah,
Just
I
go
would
ahead and say
imagine
that.
that.
Marshall's sitting at 5-1 right now, and they've played legitimate people. Um,
Didn't they beat
I
Syracuse? Or is it? No, it was
mm,
MTSU. Sorry.
no, they lost to. Let me look it up real quick, cause sorry.
Yeah, I definitely think that Marshall's the strongest on in the conference right now. At least they're playing like they are. They're blowing people out of the water. I want to say they beat Cincy as
Yeah, I'm
well.
trying to check right now. Let me see this.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I just look, as far as the conference standing goes, we're not that far behind, right? If we win the conference games in the East, that we should, as long as we win the conference games we're supposed to win, and can beat Marshall, we can get out of the East. Because I don't think MTSU is going to do it. Florida Atlantic's a wild card. Some weeks they play great. Some weeks they play like garbage. Uh, I don't think the rest of the East is that strong, but it will come down to us and Marshall, I think. I hate to count Old Dominion out as far as the conference race goes, but I don't think they catch up conference wins. I don't know what aren't they? Don't they have two conference losses now?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
so.
And you're talking about a bunch of other teams that only have one. Uh, I just don't see how they catch up, especially playing as down as they are. And I think Western's going to beat them. Now I'll say how much later, but I don't know. I think it comes down to us and Marshall, and I think Marshall has a distinct advantage.
Yeah, I agree. I think Marshall's got the advantage. They've got the steam rolling anyway. They've got the momentum on us, and as far as the other teams in finishing out, let's see, we got MTSU at 3-4 and FIU at 4-2, which
Yeah,
really just
they're
does
sneaky.
not seem. Yeah, that does not seem right to me because I thought they were actually doing really bad,
Well,
but apparently not.
I think you're remembering I don't know if it was last year or the year before when we had the piss pouring thunder monsoon down there, and we were beating them like 60-3. And there was a rain delay, essentially like a lightning delay, and they asked Conference USA if they could just call it because they were getting beat up so bad. And Western, actually, to Brahm's credit, he was like, yeah, that's totally fine. We don't want to get anybody hurt. And the
Yeah,
conference does not allow
that's
that.
hilarious.
And so we had to go back there, and we scored another touchdown. It ended up
That's
being like
hilarious.
it was like either 63 or 70-3. It was just
Well,
so
okay. All right, FIU. You said we had the number 129. FIU has to have 130. I'm
bad. There we
sorry.
go. They might.
Because they've got Central Florida. They lost 61-17.
Central Florida's not bad.
Um, I don't know who this is. They beat them 17-10.
So probably nobody.
Alcorn State, sorry.
Yeah,
And Rice, they beat 13-7. Charlotte, they beat 30-29.
okay, so they're close to us. They're close.
And MTSU, they lost 37-17.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tulane looks like they beat Tulane. But
So they're ranked. Their schedule just is on TeamRankings.com. So whatever that's worth. We're 129. UAB is 128. Florida International FIU is 127. Can you guess who? Now they're kicking ass and taking names. They're smoking everybody, running up the score. Who do you think is 130? You probably won't be able to guess.
I have no idea.
There's a Louisville coaching tie. I'll tell you that much.
Are you talking Purdue?
No.
Oh.
South Florida and Charlie Strong.
Oh, wow.
They're 6-0. They have They have the weakest. So that explains quite a bit as to why.
Yeah.
Stingy Point Charlie, who wants to win 6-2 every game, is running up the points because he has the 130th schedule in the country.
Let me tell you, hey, I like Charlie Strong.
I
as
like him
far
as a dude.
Louisville coaches, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as far as a dude, like I liked him, and he was one of the best. He's probably the best recruiter that U of L ever had. Bobby's first year, they lost 10 dudes to the NFL. Like,
oh my gosh!
It was tied with Florida State that year.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, the ACC killed it. The NFL was full of them. But I hate his style of football. God.
Well, okay. When he went to Texas, I knew it was a mistake for Charlie Strong. He did great as far as chug. He did great as far as as Louisville goes. But then when he took that next step, I'm like, it's like coming to Kentucky and playing and trying to coach basketball.
Yeah, the
you've got
expectations
standards.
are too high. It's too much. And look, he's gonna kick ass at South Florida. And dude, I went to Texas too. He got paid.
Oh yeah, but then
like
he probably got cost a lot.
Listen for 7 figures you can call me whatever names you want. I will stand naked in front of Longhorn Stadium with a trumpet in my butt for $5 million. Are you kidding me? And he got paid like close to 8, I'm pretty sure. Like, it was a monstrous deal. And then
is that like you're gonna stand there for $5 million a year, or just for like a day?
Dude, yeah, a year. That's fine. Do you know how much a game that is? Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, dude, okay. So
if you lose, you only play 12 games.
Yeah, exactly. Conference USA standings out of the West, North Texas is killing it.
Dude, that quarterback is legit.
I don't know who they've played. Conference-wise, they're 3-0. So I think
killing it.
I think it'll be Marshall, North Texas, and I think Marshall will beat North Texas.
I don't know. That quarterback is good.
It probably is.
Marshall,
but I don't like North Texas, so.
Right. That's an old hatred, though.
Yes, that's a deep hatred.
That goes back
That goes back to 2008, I think. Our first transition year. Was it 2007? 07? I think it may have been 2007 because that's the year we almost got in a fight.
Hey, that
was a fun year.
Fighting.
Well,
like in ODU, that was a great game last year at homecoming.
Yeah.
We spanked them and we beat the shit out of them. It was great.
Hey,
got
you gotta
on
love
ESPN.
That. Yeah, you gotta love that. Yeah. So let's see. It was like I think it was 2007, 2008. Well, first transition year, we go to North Texas. First off, it was miserable. Like 34 degrees, 32 degrees, rain, sleet, snow mix, and one of our defensive linemen catches a pass. It just got batted up just right. He catches it, runs it like 60 yards for a touchdown. This dude is as tall. His nickname was Carl Winslow. Okay, just to tell you what he looked like.
Carl Winslow.
Yes. So he takes off down the field, scores the touchdown. Western gets flagged because everybody is celebrating that this guy scored. We went into halftime up by I think it was like 27-0. They came back and beat us by like 4 points or something. It was nothing ridiculous, but they beat us. And then at, I'm standing there. Of course, I was a student trainer, so I'm dumping water bottles out and fixing to pack up because I'm ready to go home. This is, we've
Yeah.
lost. It's full, and I'm like, nobody's leaving the field. My back is to the field. I turn around and look, and Western guys are on the 45 yelling and screaming at North Texas. North Texas is on their 45 screaming and yelling at Western, and the coaches are all in the middle pushing them back, trying to get them back like some bad subway scene. Um, and it was like, oh my God. And at one point, one of the graduate coaches picks a football up and chucks it at Western's guys. And it was like, oh my God, this is going to be on. What am I going to do? I ain't going to do shit. I ain't going to get my ass whooped
Yeah,
in the middle
yeah,
of this.
right.
So I was like,
Them's big old
okay.
boys. You're not a small
Well,
man, but them big old boys.
I learned the hard way that I was nowhere near as strong as I thought I was. There was a defensive lineman at Ball State yelling and cussing one of the guys, and this guy was one of those that you suspected he was on roids, but you didn't say it. And he's sitting there, and their coaches were like, "Get him back!" And I was like, "Hey, come on, man, let's back up a little bit." And he just walks right through me, and I was like,
Yeah, you're like,
"Okay,
yep,
yeah." Uh,
back up.
Back to where we were. Marshall's obviously leading the East.
No.
On ESPN, I'm seeing Marshall, FAU, and then FIU, and then Western, which Western and FIU are tied. MTSU is 1-2 conference. Old Dominion's 0-2. Charlotte's 0-3.
Yeah.
So hey,
It's still pretty open, I have to
I
say.
was pretty negative when I did the podcast myself, but I'm a little more optimistic with some dark spots.
Right. I'm kind of on board with that. I think this game, and not just the outcome, but how the players and the coaching staff approach this game and what they actually run and end up doing, that's what I think will really set me off or give me a little bit more hope.
I agree with that. I said all along that I thought that this game was either going to be good for Western and give them momentum, or it was going to be that game where Sanford got pumped up about his system and just swore, "Well, it worked at Charlotte."
God, I
No,
hope not.
not necessarily, dude. Um, that's what I'm hoping does not happen. Maybe he sees, hey, these new things that we've done have worked. Let's keep working towards this. Let's keep working to the future and to make sure things are working out.
Well, a thought that I had, especially after the game, was that considering how much he mixed up the starters and who his wide receiver ones were, who his running back ones were. Now, as far as running backs, we've known all along, all year, that it was Baker, Furby, and everybody else. Now, I'm still really high on Moses, but Baker is for sure your lead back, and we knew that. He's just been hurt. As far as receivers goes, I honestly think that Sanford and crew just did not have, I guess, a good feel for the soldiers they had about what guys actually needed to lead. And I'm interested to see how they come out this week, because going into the season we all were like, oh God, Lucky Jackson, Lucky Jackson, Lucky Jackson, and he did fairly well against EKU, but then he kind of got shut down after that because I mean he's not a monster, he's not a big guy, he's pretty fast, but his hands are suspect and he gets a little excited when he gets green in front of him. So I just wonder it was not if a lot of it wasn't not understanding the weapons that they had. You know what I mean?
I understand. Yeah. And I think a good coach is able to take the weapons they have and form a playbook.
Yes.
That's what I believe a coach should try to do. I mean, I'm all fine for using a system, but hey, I've got more running backs than I do wide receivers. Well, why don't we try this?
Right, exactly. And not only that, but look, if you give me the ingredients to make chili, and I try to make a salad out of it because I like salads, I'm going to fail. You take the recipe. You might have a recipe, but you got to take the ingredients you got and make it palatable. And I'm hoping that's what we saw last week, and we'll continue to see moving forward.
No, you could have taco salad, but okay, yeah, I get what
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying.
not really a salad.
It's at Wendy's, okay? It's at Wendy's.
Yeah, so are fingers in chili, so I don't want to hear it.
I don't think that was proven. I thought that was like her finger. But
Yeah,
anyway, let's
still finger.
let me talk about my Jane Goodall experience on the new side of the stadium.
Oh yeah, so for those of you
Oh,
that don't know, Devin sat on the hoity-toity side during
yes,
homecoming, away from
yes.
all us drunk plebes on the old side, sweating
Um,
and burning and cussing.
my wife and I actually bought our tickets on Tuesday. It wasn't too bad expensive. We sat in section 102,
And we got to watch all the actual rich hoity-toity people walk down to their nice little box thing on the floor on the ground. I was like, you bitches. Every time somebody would walk by, I was just like, Urgh.
It's
But
goals, man.
let me tell you, guys that sit on the old side and watch the new side and think, what are they doing? Sitting in the middle of them, you think, what are they doing? Like halfway through the third quarter, they lost complete interest in what was going on with the game. And it was like, dude, they're showing pictures of their dogs that had puppies, and it was like, come on, man. The game's still going on. Let's, keep cheering the guys on. I mean, this is, legitimately, I think, fourth quarter, the second string came in. But still, these guys hadn't been on the field yet this year. Let's give them something here. And
Yeah,
it was really frustrating.
that's one of the things I like about sitting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I still mooch my student ID because I just do not, I cannot afford $70 to go to as many games as I go to. I just cannot afford it. But I like sitting over there by the band because they are the best cheering section in the stadium, and they get the other students around them, like with our giant banner, they get them riled up too. And my favorite part, and I was telling everybody I was at the game with, is the warm up the bus. The warm up the bus is my favorite thing. The
What is warm up
keys.
the bus?
Oh my God. Okay, so at the end, when we know we've won, right? All the band members and a bunch of the students, all the ones that haven't passed out drunk yet, get out their keys and they start drumming and shaking their keys, going, "Warm up the bus, da 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 da, warm up the bus,
I love it. I
warm
love
up the
it.
bus."
I
It
did
is
not
the
know
best.
that.
Yes,
That
yes.
is awesome.
I discovered it a couple years ago when I came home for a Thursday night game, which is the most ratchet thing. I love Western. They're
I
so
do.
drunk. It's great. But they get that. And what's great is it's not just the keys. Like some of the drummers will drum or, when they can, right? It's great.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, that's what makes me love Western is the tradition and the things that they do. And I mean, I love the flag. That was probably one of my favorite things was watching the flag come out. When Kara and I were the first time it happened, I didn't because when you sit on the old side, you don't notice it.
Unless
You
you're
kind
under
of
it.
see what's going on. Yeah, you don't notice it. But when you're sitting on the new side, you're like, oh man, that was cool. And then I was
Yeah,
like,
we
oh, what did
we
they do?
got that for our first conference championship against Southern Miss.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That is so cool, though.
me and John were sitting underneath it. I didn't even know it was a thing. I was like, "What is that giant red thing down there?" And then we scored first time. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah, I know, right? And we'll go through some stats real quick.
Hmm.
Mike White, 33 of 47, 398 yards, 5 touchdowns. D. Eccles, and then isn't that
True.
Eccles
Yeah.
Looper?
No, no,
Okay.
no. So that's your that's still the quarterback. That's
He was second string then.
yeah. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
okay.
that's Drew Eccles, who was 7 of 8 for 80 yards.
Yes. And then we had that one with Fant, who threw one for 26 yards. That was a nice trick play.
It really was. I
It
love that
was
Sanford's keeping
a
him in the playbook.
that was that was a shuttle pass, and then he passed it deep. I don't remember who he passed to, but
I
doesn't
can't
really
remember.
matter.
It's a 26 yard. Is a 26 yarder.
Yeah, no touchdown on that. And then we had the running back by committee with Baker leading off with 14 carries, 74 yards. 15 was his longest. I don't know average wise how that was, but anyway. Then we had Furby 5 carries, 34 yards, and Moses 6 carries, 19 yards. Towner led the receiving corps, 6 receptions, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Null, he gets 7 receptions, 92 yards. one TD.
That was Yelder. Just so
Yes,
we
that was
remember.
Yelder. That was. I love that kid. I love watching him play. He reminds me of a Jack Doyle, Gronk. I know I said it earlier, but still.
Baby Gronk.
Yeah, baby Gronk. Uh, I just like watching him play, and it's like, yes, he comes down with it, and it's just like, yes. A guy I'd never heard of, Jay Sloan.
I don't think he was even on the depth chart that they passed out. I'm not gonna lie. I had to get. He might have been. I've got it over. I've got it somewhere.
I have no idea.
I honestly, I had to get on my phone and go, who the hell is number? Whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I have never heard of him before.
I'm gonna look him up real quick.
Yeah, it was awesome, and he got a touchdown.
Oh,
which is-
Jaquez Sloan. He's a freshman. That's why I haven't heard of
That's
him.
why we hadn't heard of him.
He's a 5'9", 185-pound freshman from Atlanta, Georgia.
Pretty thick. That's good.
Yeah, hey, 185. Hey, he ain't thick. He's a little bitty. They're gonna eat him.
At 5'9", that's solid.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
I don't ever get that short. So.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know.
not that tall. So. I'm a buck 80. I need to go on Weight Watchers.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're as solid as this kid probably is, I doubt it. Total yards looking like 43 of 58, 506 yards offense. That's awesome. And for us against Charlotte, we needed that. Charlotte's passing 9 of 19 for 61 yards.
That dude was bad.
He couldn't have hit a boat. He couldn't have hit water if he was sitting in a boat. I swear. It was really bad. Rushing, they did pretty good. 34 attempts, both of us. Western had 121 yards, and Charlotte had 248 yards. So every yard we got, they got 2, basically. Which, that's pretty good. And I wish Western could improve to a 250-yard offense on the ground, but, it's what it is.
As long as we break 100 yards and keep the passing game going, I'll take it.
Yeah, 627 yards for Western, 309 for Charlotte. That's kind of sad for our defense, but, players of the game. Who do you think? Are you going to go with Towner?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Towner. Mike White wins at every other damn game, so I'm going to go with Towner. And reason being is he's been a return specialist and a good one at that. And this was one of his first chances to really show what he can do in the passing game. And, I mean, obviously he stood out. 6 for 111 that's what we need. We need at least one of those every single game. And hopefully it continues to be that moving forward.
I'm going to join you. I voted Mike White last night, and I think I'm going to join you with Towner. I like his numbers. I like how he's doing. And like you said, Mike White gets it every other week, so let's go with Towner. And
Exactly.
as far as I'm concerned, defensively, I'm going with Charlotte's offense.
Yeah, exactly.
When the quarterback runs out of bounds at the 10-yard line, what do you have to say about that?
Seriously, though, the guy, just the decisions that were made, just bad. I don't
was so
understand.
sad. And I mean, they made our defense look amazing, and it was really funny just watching from what I saw. And let me tell you, I love Western live, but it was just like, oh my gosh.
Look like a bunch of monsters out there.
Exactly. I'm going to speed through the WKU history. Now, this is important, guys, to remember because as much as we may complain about Western football, we still love it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten my college tuition paid for if it was not for WKU football.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily the football program, but I worked solely with football.
Right.
And I didn't have to pay for college. So I had scholarships luckily when I was a freshman, and then when I got to be a sophomore, everything was paid for. So I was lucky in that aspect. But to think for us fans, we need to thank Jack Harbaugh. Coach Harbaugh started as the Hilltoppers head coach in the 1989 season. And by 1992, WKU was on the verge of losing its football program, not because of win-losses or anything like that, but because the state mandated a $6.1 million budget cut, which is like cutting off both legs and Lieutenant Danning it up the hill.
You ain't got no legs.
I know that, Gump.
That's green.
Harbaugh was notified of the plans to shut down the program just before spring practice was about to begin. Having already made up his mind that he was not going to quit, he talked with his players, left them a choice: accept defeat and leave, or fight to stay. Now known as the 1992 Save the Program team, every player decided to stay and fight and work to save WKU football. While Harbaugh and the team did their part, former WKU coach, quarterback, and AD Jimmy Fikes started an emergency fundraising campaign, writing letters and making calls to former WKU players, urging them to buy season tickets. And all the efforts that were put forth on April 30th, 1992, the WKU Board of Regents voted to allow football to stay, but with a reduced budget, which is fine. We'll take it.
All right, as long as you keep the football.
Coach Harbaugh was with the team for 14 seasons. He compiled a record of 91-68, 3 consecutive 10-plus win seasons, 2 conference championships, OVC, and then the Gateway in 2002. And then the 2002 Division I AA National Championship. I actually saw that game as a child, and teenager, I guess, and that was an amazing game. Yeah. Actually, the 1992 team had a losing record of 4-6, but that's not important. It was that Western successfully saved their program,
right?
And Jack Harbaugh's sons actually came and donated their time. Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh, which everybody should know because I think Jim's at Michigan now, and John is at the Ravens.
Yep.
And these two were NFL quarterbacks who traveled around and did recruiting. They did coaching. They helped to bring Willie Taggart to Western when he first started playing, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know who Willie Taggart is, Willie T, as he was known, was like the Teddy Bridgewater, Michael Vick, without the dog fighting style quarterback of his time. They also brought Rod Smart, which, by the way, he was the he hate me guy, and Mel Mitchell. Let me tell you, the Harbaughs, and if you wonder why those names sound familiar, if you're sitting on the old side, you'll see it. Just look up at the club seats. They did so much for Western. They earned their spot up there as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, it's so cool to have the Harbaugh football dynasty run right through Fikes Field. It's so cool.
And John, I know for a fact. Well, I won't say he helped these guys, but he brought Bobby Rainey on when Bobby first got drafted.
Did he really?
Yes, that's where
right.
Bobby went.
That's right.
Bobby went to the Ravens initially.
And he's back. You see they signed him again?
Did they sign him again? Okay.
He had a I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but he had as a returner right now. He fell over one of his players on a kick return, but he wasn't down by contact, and nobody figured it out. So he just hopped up because he didn't hear the whistle and kept running and scored a touchdown. And it was like,
yes.
That's that good Western coaching. Keep running, boy. It ain't dead till you hear the whistle. Go.
That's right. Let me tell you, I love Bobby Rainey's move. He has got his move was like the stinky leg. He would drag his leg, and he dragged his leg like a break almost, and the guys would just miss, and he would just juke. Whoop. It was actually a successful juke, unlike some of the players we saw try to juke the other day.
Dude, I will say though, Kylan Towner though, that double quadruple juke touch, that was I was like, oh my god, what is he doing? He's gonna get tackled, he's gonna fumble, and then he goes, oh, I'm gonna break your ankle, and then I'm gonna break your ankle, and then I'm gonna score. Okay, cool, dude. Whatever. All right.
Yeah, I'm still happy about that game.
Yeah,
that game is so exciting. Do you know off the top of your head best way to watch the ODU game?
I want to say it's on CBS Sports Network.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So let's just look right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to Google.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I will say, and so seriously, if anybody's listening, I know nobody is, but if you're gonna ask people on game day where to watch, do not.
Chad Bishop.
Oh my God! Listen, if I could get, I would tackle people because Brad and Chad, do not text them. They are working that day. Do not text them. Do not
Oh,
tweet them.
come
Do
on.
not
They
call
don't
them.
do anything, really, do they?
Yeah, you're right. The beat writers for the program are not busy on game day, especially
No.
when they're in Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, no, look, there are plenty of blogs. Tower Rack does a good job. Barstool will have it. They put
Okay,
out a whole list of game day stuff.
now, important note. That is a 5 o'clock game, and that's tomorrow. That's
Oh yeah,
on
it's Friday.
tomorrow night. Yes.
Forgot to say. Yeah, that's Friday night.
Yes. So for those few listeners we have, that is tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. So don't miss it, guys. And I think you can listen on the IMG Sports Network.
Which, yeah, oh yeah, always. And I freaking love those guys. Also, for any of you in Bowling Green, Hilligans, shout out to Hillies, is having a big watch party starting at 5. So if you can get downtown, they're gonna have all the doors open, the patio's gonna be open, and they're gonna be having all the TVs will have the game on, because I mean we're the only one locally that matters that's on Friday night, and it is CBS Sports Network. I just looked. So
And hey, we should be the only ones that matter in Bowling Green. I'm sorry.
seriously though,
Yeah.
golly,
I wish Western fans were as territorial as Louisville fans. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
That would be awesome. I'm sorry. Sorry,
And-
not sorry.
yeah, and your bandwagon UK fans, God, just because you're born in this state doesn't mean you have to root for UK. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and I understand people who do cheer for UK. I do cheer UK basketball as long as they're not playing Western. And guys, you can take the same initiative as I do. Just cheer for Western. You can cheer UK. You can cheer Louisville. Rick's not there anymore. I can cheer Louisville.
That's right. Go David Pageant.
Yeah, David Paget for however long he's there.
They just hired another assistant coach, and the funniest thing is he was a point guard at Duke.
Really?
He was the prototypical D-bag white point guard from Duke.
That is hilarious.
I can't even remember his name. I mean, he might be a good hire. I don't know. They're getting them all on the cheap, so it doesn't matter.
That's hilarious. That is, but hey, you can cheer them all. That's what I'm saying, and that's awesome. Go Tops.
That's right. Go Tops. You got anything else?
I'm good, Bubba.
All right. I think that's it for this episode of Red Out. Be on the lookout for when we tweet out players of the game, and we'll tweet out this. We're gonna, we have the YouTube channel, but we're also going to start. I don't know if we're going to use Podbean or one of the other free podcasting sites, but we will have an audio-only podcast. Not that the YouTube isn't audio-only. We just have a Western background. But we will have an actual version that's a podcast and not just a video over the next few weeks once we, figure out the hosting site and figure out how in the world to work Audacity worth a damn. So, thank you, and good night, everyone.